watched Tennessee, how much of that was just bad matchup for you guys, and how much of it was things that you have to get corrected week to week?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. It's play calls. Getting those guys in situations that maybe are a little bit more beneficial, and but at the end of the day, we're going to have to make plays in some one-on-one situations, and our guys have made plenty in their careers, and unfortunately didn't make the ones we needed on Saturday.
What about Auburn? How do you guys match up with them, their offense? And I know they have two quarterbacks, and there's some struggle with that as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a team that can move the football on the ground, and they've got, again, it's like any SEC program. They've got a good set of wideouts, obviously with Cam Coleman and with Singleton there, and 3 and 4 do a nice job as well. But obviously 1 and 8 are the linchpins there. I think Cobb does an unbelievable job, in the backfield. He runs hard, great vision, contact balance. You mentioned the two quarterbacks. You got to be ready for both. System-wise, it's not going to change. Whoever's in, slightly different style player in terms of, one, with Daniels being a little bit, more sturdier, a really thick runner, ran through a lot of tackles last week, when he went in the game. So you got to bring your pads, you got to bring multiple hats. Arnold obviously has sort of a different juice to him in gear in terms of, when he can get, by a defender, his twitch and explosion. He can make some big plays, with his speed. So, and both can throw the ball really well. They can both spin it. So, yeah, really big challenge.
Ryan was pretty banged up in that game against Tennessee. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think he finished that game. How's he doing right now, and how's he looking as you gear up for this Auburn matchup?
Yeah, all availability and that stuff comes through coach.
Several of the transfers you guys added last winter had multiple years of eligibility, even though you were playing them right away. How have those guys developed, and what does that mean for maybe the roster continuity moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you can have a guy in multiple years in this system, it's huge. And I'll take for example a guy like Davern, and his growth, through these past 3 seasons, and he would be the first to tell you, like, it was funny, and I think I might have mentioned it, so if I did, I apologize, but when we were going through, fall install, going into summer, and we're installing for fall, and I was like, man, hey, what feels like too much? Should we cut back? We were in that process of, hey, what can we put in? And he was like, oh, that doesn't feel like a lot at all. I said, all right, David, just take one breath. And I said, now, you walked in here 2.5 years ago at that time. I said, now look at the board. First day in, what would that feel like? And he's like, oh, yeah, maybe we need to take a thing out or and so you realize once you're in it for a couple of years and you digest it, then it makes sense. And in all the puzzle pieces, it doesn't look so big. You're like, okay, I can clump this. I can put it in buckets. I know how to do that. When you're trying to just do it in 1 year, it's hard, to get it all into separate buckets and make sense. And so then it just feels like a lot. Kind of a long-winded answer to say yes. Obviously the more time you have with a guy, the better.
Brandon, I know you were concerned about Tennessee's balance and how they were rushing for close to 200 a game going into that matchup. Do you feel like, at least on that end and defending the run, you're in a position to feel good about your matchup this week?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Each week's its own challenge, and each week, as soon as you say, I feel good about this or I like this matchup, again, this league has a way to humble you really, really fast. So we just understand the challenge that we're facing, and that we've faced tough challenges in the past and we've elevated, and we've met those challenges, like the Texas game, a team that was running the ball really well, and I thought we did a nice job. but then we go the next week and we didn't elevate to the challenge. So it's not, something that you just think, okay, yep, we're going to go into this game and we're going to be just fine. It's not. Like, you've got to show up each and every week. Obviously our strengths need to show out for us, and we need to minimize our weaknesses.
Can you kind of expand on Jeremiah Cobb and just like what kind of a runner he is?
Yeah, he's. I'm trying to think of a comp, but he just really does a great job of feeling little creases in the line, and then he'll explode through. They do a nice job in their zone scheme, and all he needs is a little bit of a crease, a little bit of a space. He can feel blockers move. A guy that used to be really good at that, Le'Veon Bell in Pittsburgh, like he would just wait. It doesn't look like there's anything there, and all of a sudden, it opens up a little crease, and then he's through it. Again, he does a nice job. Like if you try to go high, he can run through an arm tackle. Some guys, if you go hit them at the thigh boards, they'll go right down. He's got the ability to just keep his balance, has the ability to, spin on contact. So he's got a little bit of everything, and then has a little juice to make a 5-yard gain go for 15 or go for 20, or, you go through their explosive play reel and he's all over it.
Obviously, it's 2 years in a row where an injury to a starting corner has really kind of hurt you guys and put you in a bad spot. But what has to happen to develop the depth at that position so it gets back to those years you all had 4 or 5 guys you were comfortable kind of rolling out there in games? Is it just time? Is it?
Yeah. Now, we haven't really had a year where we were rolling out 4 or 5 guys. The years that we played really well, right? You think about it, we were able to stay healthy at those positions, and stay healthy throughout the season. And so, you'd play 2 or 3. I mean, in this day and age, it's hard to hold, 4, and 5 really good players, that they want to sit there and wait. And so you feel the effects of that at times. But no, we like, sort of the young guys that we've brought in, but they just, it's time on task, for some young guys. And so, yeah, it's a little bit different, hey, listen, everybody's got to deal with it at varying positions. Ours just happened to be sort of on the edge, sort of the last, couple, but yeah, the more we can have, the better. That's obviously it.
I know you said the league has a way of humbling you when you feel good, but what does have you excited for this upcoming matchup with the Tigers?
That we get the taste out of our mouth. Like that's the thing that right now I think motivates me. I think motivates a lot of guys. The other coaches, the guys in that locker room defensively, like that we have an opportunity, within 7 days to try to wipe away that feeling in that game. And so that's exciting. And again, I think I've mentioned before, I know what these guys are made of character-wise. I can't promise what the result's going to be. I don't know. But I do know they're going to fight, and I know they're a resilient group. They're going to go out, and so I'm excited to see what they put on the field. They pour a lot into this, and it's not just about like wins and losses, in terms of, performance matters. Like you can win a game and feel really bad about how you played, and you can lose a game and not be satisfied with the loss, but you can be satisfied with the way you performed as an individual, a group. Again, not from a moral victory standpoint, but from a performance standpoint. And so there's there's a lot of embarrassment and humility coming out of Saturday. And so, on all levels, starting with me. And so we're ready that we get it, wipe that away.
Okay, folks, thank you. Appreciate